RX93.1 presents Heard on Thursdays.
Heard on Thursdays.
The premier magazine talk show on FM radio.
Your host, JC
Kong
Chavez.
A Fat Choi, Monsters. Kong Shi Fa Chai. Hope I'm saying that right. Sinyan Hao and Happy Day of Hearts. I mean, that should cover it, right? JC Tev is back with you for more hot conversations here on Heard on Thursdays, the iconic show that made FM radio talk only on Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1. And since we're welcoming the year of the Metal Ox on Chinese New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day is just 2 days away, love and the future are on the table tonight on Heard on Thursdays. Literally in our guest's case, as he lays down the tarot cards to answer your questions about love and what lies ahead. Yes, we are opening the HOT phone line 8631-9393 for your live questions. That happens in the second half of the show. So you can catch us on air right now and listen for that, the cue to call, or you can tune in to our Facebook live stream, facebook.com/RX931, where I'll also be taking your questions. So we have invited back noted psychic, Reiki healer, tarot reader, and restaurant entrepreneur JL Manalili, fresh from his trip to Mount Banahaw. He knows a thing or two about love charms, love spells, and love potions. Is this the stuff of romantic comedies or supernatural horror? We'll find out more from him tonight. But remember, as we always remind you when we do these predictions episodes, the views of the guests are their own. This is strictly for your amusement and entertainment. We are not endorsing these beliefs and predictions. Your destiny is in your hands, and our guest JL will agree, I'm sure. So, JL Manalili joining us this evening. Thank you for joining us once again, JL.
Hello, good evening sa'yo, JC Teves, and sa ating mga ka-monsters.
Hello, JL.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to have you on the show. Even though we might be doing it from home at the moment, it's really nice to hear your voice, nice to see your face here on Facebook Live. So, JL, of course, my first question with all the guests, since it's been a while since we caught up in person, what have you been doing lately? Besides your line of work, have you been watching anything on TV? Have you been on a new app or something?
Oh, well, syempre, since nagkaroon ng pandemic, no, yung restaurant has been closed for a while. So,
Okay.
nag-reopen lang kami ng mga end of 2020. And then yung ginagawa ko since lockdown, yung nag-live stream ako in Kumu, and I do hosting naman sa Wising. So, pakanta-kanta, live stream. While live stream naman yung psychic music and healing. Well, we do psychism, paranormal stuff online, yung mga ganon.
Oh, great.
So,
Maybe we
syempre,
can...
hindi mawawala yung binge watching natin and mga TV series, ganyan.
Is there any
The Crown,
specific...
mga ganon.
The Crown.
Oo, favorite ko yung The Crown. Tapos yung mga luma na, mga Charmed, inuulit lang natin yung mga American Horror Story.
Okay.
Ulit-ulit.
All right. It's okay lang na yan because during this time it's good to stay busy. I'm sure you would agree. So JL, before we get into the conversation, I'm sure a lot of our listeners might be their first time to see you on live, also to hear you on air. So let's talk about you mismo. How did you become a psychic? How did you become a tarot reader, Reiki Master? I mean, everything in your resume is very impressive, but I'm sure there was a backstory behind it. So why don't you tell our listeners, paano ka nagsimula? How did you start?
Ayun. I started yung paranormal investigator or paranormal investigation. Hindi naman ako inborn psychic talaga.
Mm-hmm.
Oo. Nanonood ako ng mga documentaries, mga paranormal shows, and I've got interested na try ko kaya to, parang mga 16 or 17 years old ako noon na I joined a group ng isang paranormal group sila, enthusiast na they trained me to be a paranormal investigator and open my senses to, para maging open tayo sa mga spiritual world.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, doon ako na nag-discover ng healing, energy healing, rituals, yung iba't ibang practices ng iba't ibang religions, So from there, I think destined. And kasi maraming nag-unfold na maraming bagay for me. So I think this is destined for me. It's not just a gift, but
Mm.
a mission na rin as well for the people na living and yung mga unseen.
I see. So, you started this when you were 16 lang. You found an interest in it. I guess the first question that a lot of people would ask was, were you not scared? Because just thinking about, I mean, for me, me personally, I'm terrified of the paranormal. So, do you have to be brave to be in this line of work, JL?
You have to be super brave, lalo na kung hindi ka sanay with that
Uh-huh.
kind of nature na, di ba, yung iba kasi inborn, na sanay nang makakita ng multo or spirits, no?
Yes.
Since nung nag-start ako talagang nakakatakot,
Mm-hmm.
na you will see a lot of spirits na hindi ka naman nasanay.
All
'Di ba?
right.
Since 16 na ako no'n, ang hirap mag-adjust na yung iba magpaparamdam sa'yo. Kasi sabi nga nila,
Hmm.
if you can see them, they can see you. So most
Oh, wow.
likely, talaga magpaparamdam at talaga maa-attract mo yung mga spirits na yon, oo.
Okay, okay. I'm getting goosebumps just the way you talk about it. What do you mean, JL, when you said that when you learn the skills, you had to open up your senses? When you say senses, is that the typical, taste, touch, feel, or is it a different kind of sense na hindi tangible or something that we're not maybe used to using every day?
Usually 'di ba ang physical senses natin, touch, seeing, feel, hearing, smelling, it's just the same thing din sa psychic abilities natin, yung mga clairgustance, clairaudience, clairvoyance. Ibig sabihin, we are seeing, feeling, smelling, or hearing yung physical world natin as part of our sixth sense.
Mm. All right. Okay. So, do you think, JL, that everyone can develop this sixth sense? I mean, those who are not inborn or inborn psychics, is this something that anyone can learn, or are there really only a few gifted like you who have the natural talent to learn?
Well, I believe everybody is gifted naman with different kinds of psychic abilities, no? It's just that you have to ask yourself if you are ready. 'Di ba?
Mm,
Lahat tayo madedevelop yan, lahat yan ma-unlock. 'Di ba? Para lang yung as simple as a Wi-Fi connection na you just have to unlock yung password niya.
I
So
see.
that you'll be able to discover yung mga secrets ng spiritual world or other planes beyond the physical world na ginagalawan natin.
That's a great analogy. So since you mentioned Wi-Fi, i-segue ko na sa technology. Let's talk about the pandemic. Last year must have been very different working as a paranormal detective, as a psychic. How were you still able to continue your operations? Because whenever you see in the movies, whenever you hear stories, usually you have to be called to the house to do something.
Mm.
Can you do your line of work remotely? Is it possible? Meron bang ganun na set up for a psychic like you?
Well, actually, mas doble yung effort kasi usually, yun nga, sabi mo, we usually go to the house to
Yes.
investigate para we'll be able to feel the energies very well.
Hmm.
Um, Recently, naging mahirap siya. So, parang yung respondent has to parang call us via video call.
Wow.
Mas doble effort kasi it's not easy to do energy scanning distantly eh.
Uh-huh.
So yun, double effort talaga siya. But of course, we have to be safe din, no?
Mhm.
While having this paranormal investigations or healing other people then as well.
Mm.
Yun ang mahirap kasi some people would request for a personal healing. Hindi mo alam, baka, you know, COVID siya or whatsoever. So,
Yes.
naging practice natin yung distant healing and paranormal investigation na kailangan talaga lahat tayo mag-adjust.
Hmm. when you mention paranormal healing, anong ibig sabihin nun? What does that mean? Because when you talk about physical healing, maybe you broke your leg, you cut your finger. The healing is the process of the skin or the bone repairing
Mm.
itself. What is paranormal healing?
Or energy healing kasi, I believe as a Reiki Master and energy healer,
Uh-huh.
lahat ng diseases is merong imbalance in terms of energy.
All right.
No? So, we have to, if you're doing energy healing, we have to balance yung energy kung saan ka imbalance. For example, um, you have a sore throat,
Mm.
'di ba? In energies, pwedeng imbalance yung throat chakra mo na you won't be able to, hindi ka nakakapag-release ng emotions mo, may mga communication problems ka with your relatives or loved ones na it affects you physically as well.
Mm.
So for example, you're having chronic migraine. So probably dahil yun sa stress. Probably you have a lot of things in mind or subconscious mind mo maraming gumugulo sa isip mo. So you need sometimes energy healing or energy balancing. Parang gano'n. Or you might
Mm.
not know it's something paranormal na a spirit is trying to infest your energy as well. Pwedeng gano'n.
Wow. So it could be affected also by maybe an external force, not just the imbalance in your energies, but maybe like you said, a spirit could affect one's health, like something like that.
Yes, oo, pwedeng na-infest ng energy, spirit for example, if the energy of the spirit is medyo negative,
Mm.
pwedeng gano'n.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the spirit world. Uh, JL, what is it? What is it like interacting with spirits? Because in your line of work, you mentioned when you first started, kasi you weren't inborn, so hindi ka sanay sa mga seeing spirits, dealing with them. But in your many years of in this line of work, how would you describe the spirit world or the spirits that you interact with to somebody who's never been a part of that kind of that world, who's never explored that kind of world? Are they scary? Are they violent? Do they have a physical appearance? What it must be difficult to explain, but maybe you can give us your best shot.
Usually kasi 'di ba sa movies, of course movies 'yun or series man 'yan, medyo exaggerated.
Mm,
Hindi siya when even how clairvoyant you are, hindi siya gano'n ka-solid na parang
okay.
nakikita mo yung tao na full figure siya from head to toe.
Uh-huh.
Usually spirits, yung pinapakita nila is mists lang or foggy,
I see.
even
So it's more
elementals as well.
like a fog, like smoke, something like that. Like a
Parang
okay.
smoke lang siya. But other spirits naman are also violent na pwedeng hindi na siya human spirit. Pwede na siyang other entities like elementals na disturb yung domain nila or yung territory nila. May mga ganon
Mhm.
like poltergeists, 'di ba? Pero usually yung mga ganong spirits have no image at all. Ang mararamdaman mo lang sa kanila is energy or yung mga binabato ka na ng plato na hindi mo pa alam na
Wow.
kung sino yon.
Okay. So, pero merong ganun na occurrences that you've experienced or have I guess run into in your line of work, like throwing a plate, something has a spirit of some sort has thrown an object that and you didn't know what it was or who it was. Stuff like
merong
that.
mga merong mga nagsislam ng door kahit walang tao dun sa other side ng door, may mga ganon.
Oh.
Pero
Oh.
medyo rare yon actually. Medyo
There.
rare yon.
Okay. Okay. I understand. JL, for 2020, COVID, besides how it affected your line of work, could you maybe see any sort of change in the spirit world? I don't know if that's a crazy question to ask, but did the spirit world change because of COVID? Is there something that you noticed?
Sa physical world, medyo rattled yung energy talaga na it will always affect the spiritual world. Kasi everything is connected via energy eh.
Mm-hmm.
Some practitioners believe that um, it is made para i-fill up yung yung tinatawag na cup of souls na medyo masyado nang populated yung earth, so that so kailangan na mabawasan and to fill up yung cup of souls na tinatawag. Pero I believe na everything happens for a reason. And kung nagkakagulo sa physical world as well as sa spiritual plane na nagkakaroon ng imbalances sa energies.
Makes a lot of sense. I like the way that you put it, because I feel like you, for something that's so complicated, you're able to put it into layman's terms. And we're gonna actually ask you some questions that I know a lot of our monsters are interested in hearing. So let's talk about. Wait, hold on, one moment.
Heard on Thursdays. Talk radio that pops.
All right, so JL, let's get right to it. To all the monsters who are just tuning in, we have JL Manalili joining us this evening. He is a psychic, a tarot card reader, a Reiki Master, and also an entrepreneur. JL, it is 3 days away from Valentine's Day, and I know that a lot of people have questions about, love. So we're just going to go right into it. Have you done a lot of consultations already during this month regarding the topic of love, maybe love problems? Can you talk to us about that?
Whether may pandemic or wala, very usual yung consultation talaga about love.
Yeah.
Diba? Hindi career eh. Talaga ang pinaka-major na tinatanong lalo na sa psychic reading or tarot reading is love.
Yes.
Diba? Usually, kung single kailan ba ako magkakaroon ng love life? Kailan ko ba mahanap you forever? Diba? Kung meron ka namang relationship or meron kang partner, sila na ba talaga? Nag-cheat ba sila or whatsoever?
Right.
May very, very usual questions yon as a practitioner or as a tarot reader.
Right. So as a tarot reader, what can the cards tell? I mean, how does the whole process work? You just draw. For example, let's talk about tarot cards in particular. So they just ask you a question. Tapos you pick a card, and that card will kind of give them maybe some foresight into the future.
Usually, I ask them to ask questions para mas specific siya. And but the process is I will read yung personality mo and the personality of your partner. Bago tayo, before we go through dun sa situation ng relationship niyo. So when you get a glimpse of what's happening, diba? At least something, a reading that you already know.
I see. So when you determine the personalities of the people who are getting consultations, how do you assess them? Do you check something in their energy? Do you feel or are you really also educated in like psychology of how people work? How do you assess someone who asks for love advice in this case?
If you're I'm not a certified life coach, pero nag took up din naman ako ng major in psychology. So not only yung energy ng tao, we also interpret body language. Kasi sometimes even when you're reading a person and they will ask another person, sometimes ikaw mismo meron tinatago eh. Some people na would ask na meron ba siyang iba. But yung ready mismo is sometimes yun na ang mismong may tinatagong multo or may tinatagong skeleton sa kanilang closet at takot sa sariling multo na gagawin sa kanila din ng kanilang partner.
I see. Oh, wow. So have you had any can you care to share, I mean, kahit anonymously lang, any very accurate readings that you've had in the past for people who have asked for love advice? Can you give us an example of something that you predicted based off of your cards that was almost parang dead on, very specific, very accurate?
Meron akong naging client na she would ask na if this person is really for her or ito na ba talaga yung makakasama niya habang buhay. While I did say na meron habang nasa relationship sila, meron ako nakita na 3 suitors na naniligaw sa kanya.
Wow, 3.
3 suitors. So, yung mga ganong klaseng reading kasi, uh, I stand with my reading kasi nasasabihin ko na you would ask me questions na ganon, pero bakit nag-entertain ka pa ng iba?
Mm.
So, parang ganon, may mga ganong eksena.
I see. Wow, very very interesting. This whole world of tarot card reading, and also about love in general. So, JL, discussing love in more detail. I'm sure, has anyone ever asked you, can you make someone fall in love with you? I mean, not you, JL, but just if I was gonna ask, JL, can I make this person fall in love with me? Is that something that people ask you, or is that something that has been done before?
Napaka din yun kasi syempre sa common yun sa Pinoy na
Yeah.
ang notion of gayuma na
Yes,
kunyari
kayo.
gusto lang kita kahit wala tayo sa relationship, alam mo yun, may paraan
Yeah.
to make this person fall in love. It's very
Mm.
usual, but I always say that hindi pwede in one reason na it's a karma for me.
I
Not only
see.
for me, of course, sa'yo, kasi you're bending the will of the person.
Ah.
'Di ba?
But is that something
Unless,
that
yeah,
can happen? Like, are there people who can bend the will of other people with
yeah, it's
the
possible.
really?
May possibility ng gano'n. But, ang gayuma kasi, lalo na if hindi naman talaga kayo or this person is not really in love with you, may mga ano yan physical side effects like migraine,
Uh-huh.
insomnia, gano'n. Kasi yung subconscious mind mo is very confused on what
Mhm.
you're feeling, 'di ba? Kasi natatamper yung will mo or yung energy mo by this work or by this ritual.
So kumbaga, you're messing with you're messing with free will. So by messing with free will,
Yes.
there are repercussions to doing that. So you choose to.
Always, yes.
All right, I see, I see. But there are people who still, they believe really in gayuma. What are the types of gayuma? Are potions, charms, ano ba? Love, like, are there spells, hexes? What are the types of gayuma that people maybe have tried to alter free will with, that
All right.
that you've seen in action?
Okay. But before that, yung gayuma kasi is a general term for
Yeah.
attraction.
Yes.
Pero kasi yung naging practice kasi or yung pinaniwalaan na ng Pilipino na pag sinabing gayuma ay for love.
Yes.
Yeah. So ang gayuma kasi again, ka-monsters, ang gayuma is
Hmm.
general term for attraction. But
Attraction.
focus on love potions or love rituals na ang gayuma is maraming form. You can wear charms like rose quartz, rhodonite, or anything pink na crystals or stones. While there are also yung mga liquid type, but I don't recommend those kasi delikado. You might not know na yung practitioners na kung ano-ano yung nilagay na herbs or kung ano-anong halaman or whatsoever na hindi nila alam na it could be poisonous. Parang
Mhm.
ganon. Or usually, sa mga practitioners, they do rituals. Yung mga ganon, rituals to with a certain spirit or a certain saint or a certain god that they believe in, to help them achieve anything that they want, especially in love.
I see. But yeah, by doing these things, let's say you alter the free will of somebody. Meron bang like a not a like a healing, a way to reverse it ba in case you mess up, or like can you take back what you've done, or is the damage done kung nagawa mo na?
Of course, laging magkakaroon na ng damage, but everything naman has a solution to heal a person, no? Like
Uh-huh.
for example, Reiki can also help to recover kung ano man yang, for example, naguyuma ang isang tao,
Mm.
Reiki can also help. But there are also some rituals that can also help yung i-purge out yung mga spells or gayuma man yan or ginawa or mga sinuot. Kasi I had a lot of patients na hindi nila alam. They're given a gift, of course, na usual, kunwari watch or necklace na they didn't know na infused with love spells
Whoa.
to make them more binded or more attached dun sa person na karelasyon nila.
Okay. Love spells, JL. Where does one learn how to cast a love spell? Isn't that I don't know if the term is very controversial, but isn't that like witchcraft? Isn't that something that witches and warlock? I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's just something I hear in fantasies and fantasy movies and books. But isn't that like along skirting the lines of witchcraft? Isn't that scary or evil in a way?
Well, not necessarily, again, if it bends the will of the person, of course, medyo dark yon.
Uh-huh.
But it is not necessarily witchcraft. Kasi
Not necessarily.
witches or weekends cannot be the same eh. Usually
Okay.
witches believe in lightness or ibig sabihin, what you do in others will go back to you threefolds.
Mm.
So pwede siyang, well, yun kasi ang notion ng tao eh. If you say it's if witchcraft bad agad. But again, all magics, all rituals has its pros and cons, 'di ba? Depende kung saan mo siya ginagamit, depende kung saan mo ginagamit yung skill mo or ability mo. Even though na karelasyon mo na siya or you're together na, if it's still uh, against the will of the person, medyo mahirap. But if you are asking for a ritual to help you heal your relationship, pwede yun.
Okay. The,
Kasi,
just
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kasi as a practitioner, you also have to assess if it's worth it na gawa ng ritual or not. Hindi yung basta gawa ka ng ritual for other people.
So it's kind of a case by case basis
Correct.
for you. Okay. Just out of curiosity, JL, if you know this witchcraft and these words that you're throwing out, it's not something that you learn in school. I mean, wala naman, I don't mean to be facetious. I'm not joking, but there's no Hogwarts school of
Oo.
witchcraft, you know. So paano nalalaman ng mga tao how to cast these spells, create this, you know, potions? How where do people learn? Is it on the internet? Are there hidden pockets of maybe witches or cults? Meron bang Facebook group? I'm not joking. I want to know how people find out how they learn these things.
Well, speaking of Harry Potter, no, yung mga
Yes.
muggles or yung mga mundane people, usually, alam mo, ang puntahan nila is Google.
Google, yes.
Napaka basic ng Google. But, ang question kasi doon, yung bang nakalagay sa Google is, yun ba talaga yung ingredients niya? Or
Yes.
ang process niya? You might not know, yung ginagawa mo is already calling or invoking something that you don't want.
Uh-huh.
Diba? There are also books na even in common bookstores ay nabibili na I mean talagang ang title niya is Goyuma, ha. Meron
Really?
ganon.
Meron.
Meron
Okay.
ding Facebook groups na may mga Facebook groups din that offers classes, 'di ba? Classes on rituals, yung mga ganon. Usual
I
na siya actually.
really. I was just joking about the Facebook groups, pero meron talaga. There are
Yes,
actually
oo.
wow. So it's not as uncommon as most people would think then, huh?
Mm.
Okay. So if it's something that maybe we could encounter in our everyday lives, meron bang I guess signs, or how would we know? Let's say if somebody's trying to cast a spell on us, mararamdaman ba namin yun? Will we be able to feel it, or will we be able to anticipate it so that we can maybe avoid it? Is there any way to protect ourselves from maybe people messing with our free will?
Okay. If the practitioner or the person who did the ritual magaling, it's really hard to determine.
Okay.
But going back to sa sinabi ko kanina, usually ang effect physically ng gayuma is confusion. Confusion na will result to insomnia, migraine, and nightmares.
Mm.
Consecutive nightmares na hindi mo gusto or hindi mo iniisip yung tao consciously, pero bakit patuloy siyang nagsisink in sa utak mo? Na parang
Mm.
hinahanap mo siya and parang you are longing for this person na usually or normally hindi naman talaga.
Okay. So it's just kind of look out for maybe things that are out of the norm in a way, out of the
Your
norm.
norm, yeah, oo.
Okay. So if somebody really attractive comes up to me who I've never talked to and they say, JC, we should go get coffee sometime. Maybe I could say, parang baka nagayuma to. I could say something like that, or I caused it. I don't know.
Well, depende kung sino yung nag-aaya ng kape kasi mamaya yung nag-offer sa'yo ng kape business yung i-offer after.
Business deal. Open-minded ka ba? Ganyan.
Correct.
Yeah. Speaking of well, since we're on the topic of love, it is the love month here on the Monster. Is there something? Do you believe in soulmates, JL? Is that something? Is that just a concept that is Is that just a concept that is used by romantics and romance movies, or is that something that's actually real? Or can two souls be connected even though they've never met each other yet? Is that something that you believe in?
Okay. Soulmates are real. Okay?
Soulmates are
Yeah, soulmates are real. But it doesn't mean na, for example, you are in a relationship, even if you are married, yun na yung soulmate
soulmate.
mo. Sometimes, nami-meet natin in this lifetime, or some people would meet their soulmates in this lifetime na, of course, lucky ka.
Uh,
Diba? Pero if not, you'd be able to meet them on your next life or the next life. Kasi soulmates, soul twins are connected also to reincarnation. Medyo talagang technical and medyo mahabang topic yung soulmates na yan. But
yeah.
again, it doesn't mean na na-meet mo siya at sobrang in love kayo sa isa't isa ay soulmate na kayo. So how would you know?
Yeah, how would you know? Is there meron bang paraan to determine if can they ask you, for example, JL, ito ba yung soulmate ko? Is this my soulmate? Can you figure it
Ask
out?
for a reading sa isang legit na psychic.
Like, okay, so someone like you, they could ask you to determine if this person is one soulmate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear, and I'm sure a lot of our monsters will consult you in the future regarding, ito ba yung soulmate ko. Actually, speaking of, later on in a bit, we're gonna be opening up the phone lines. So JL, when we open up the phone lines, they can call us up 8631-9393. We'll give you the cue to call, but when they call JL, what questions would you like them to ask you? Ano yung mga tanong na pwede nila itanong sa'yo?
Or anything since love month na anything about love. If you may ask me something if your partner is cheating, pwede nating sagutin.
Really?
Kung gusto niyo talagang tanong yon, oo.
Wow. And you will do this by reading your tarot cards.
Yes.
Okay. And just to be clear, these tarot cards, you don't have to be there in person. You can actually just pick it. You don't have to. How does that work, JL? Is it because how are you able to choose the card? Is it just randomly, or do you feel some sort of energy pulling you towards a certain card based on their voice? How do you determine this? At all?
Yun, I don't believe na merong random. So, most likely, this card will call you to a specific person or specific situation na tinatanong mo dun sa card.
But you're like in a way you are the conduit. You are the in between.
Yes.
You are the one who can feel this card calling in a way.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you know what? We'll open up the phone lines, but I'll still we'll still talk more about what's going on. But if you want to call 8631-9393, remember we're not endorsing these. We are not endorsing these beliefs and predictions.
Yes.
Your destiny is in your hands, and of course, JL. I'm sure you feel you're gonna say the same thing anyway. So call us up 8631-9393. We actually have a caller on the line already. So Let's see what they have to say. Monster, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Who's this? You don't have. Do they have to give their real name, JL, or can they be anonymous?
Pwede naman anonymous.
Okay. So, hi caller. You can give us your real name or a nickname if you don't want to give your real name. Who's this?
Uh, Gina from Batasan.
I'm sorry, Gina from
Okay.
Batangas.
Yes.
Gina, hi Gina. So JL's here. He's listening to you. So Gina from Batangas, what is your question for JL?
Sir, tanong ko lang po kung kunwari po, may, may special someone po ako. May siya. That pwede po ba yun na ma-explain niya ako?
Gina, medyo
Sorry, I
may
didn't get that.
medyo choppy.
Medyo choppy.
Can you repeat it, Gina? May special someone ka, and then what do you want to ask?
Kung kapag naiisip ko siya, naiisip rin po ba niya ako?
Oh.
So when he thinks of her, or when she thinks of him or her, do they think of her as well? Parang
Yes.
ganun, Gina.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, now Gina. But what is that card?
Mutual. Mutual actually.
What is the card by JL? What does it say on that card, or what is the image on that card that made you say yes to Gina's question?
Sinasabi kasi ng card, this is a positive card naman na sinasabi ng card na you are mutually thinking of each other. So kung anumang feeling yung nararamdaman mo sa kanya is the same thing na nararamdaman niya for you.
Oh.
But I don't think na itong special someone ay meron ng label.
Pero possible po ba?
Yeah, positive naman.
Okay. Gina, are you happy with that answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
More
you.
power to your program.
Alright,
Sir,
thank you. Salamat, Gina. Thank you for calling.
From Batasan po ako, not Batangas.
Batasan. Sorry,
Opo.
from Batasan. Okay. Good luck to you,
Okay.
Gina. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay.
So call us up 8631-9393 if you have any questions for JL here. Of course, he's a psychic tarot reader, so he's going to pull up your card. And as expected, another caller, JL, agad, and I'm sure you're already ready for this one. Monster, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this? You can give us your name or a nickname if you don't want to use your real name.
Hi, my name is Ellie.
I'm sorry, Ari?
Yes, my name is Ellie.
Abby, JL's listening. Try to speak up. I think your line is a little bit quiet. Just try to be as clear as possible. So here,
Right, sorry, just
a nickname if you don't want to use your.
I'm calling from overseas. That's why medyo choppy yung line. Sorry.
Oh wow! So you're asking from overseas. So go ahead. JL is listening. Go ahead and ask Abby.
Hi. I was just wondering is it so normal if your partner is stalking his or her ex, and maybe how to avoid that?
Is it normal that your partner is talking to his ex?
Stalking their exes.
Talking to their
Stalking.
ex. Talking to their exes.
Sorry,
Okay,
what's
pero yung second question.
your
Alright.
social media?
I'm sorry,
I
Abby.
didn't get that.
What was the second half of your question? Hello? Oh no!
Naku, nawala siya.
Wala siya. Abby, you can call again. I did not get to hear the second part of her question.
Yeah.
But JL, the questions, do they have to be a yes or no question, or can it be open-ended? Just so that our listeners who call up next can be more specific with their questions for you.
Yeah, pwedeng yes or no naman.
Pwedeng yes or no. But if not yes or no, pwede din. Like an open-ended
Yeah.
answer.
Oo.
Okay. Great. So call us up 8631-9393 if you have a question for JL. Abby, if you are listening from overseas, maybe you're watching on Facebook Live, you can call. Just out of curiosity, JL, if may nag-comment sa Facebook, if somebody commented on Facebook, can you answer that, or do you have to hear their voice talaga?
Pwede naman mag-comment sa Facebook.
Comment
Yeah,
sa Facebook.
pwede.
Okay, so maybe we'll take a few comments from Facebook as well, but we have a caller on the line. Monster, hello.
Hello?
Is this Abby? Hi, Abby, is this you?
Yes, it's
Hi,
me.
Abby. Sorry, we
Um,
missed your second half of your question, but feel free to ask it once again, Jay.
right, I just tried calling back.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay lang ba yon if you have a partner and then your partner is stalking their ex's social media like Instagram or Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a second
So
half of that question? Or was that it, Abby? Was your question only, is it normal for your partner to be talking to their ex on social media?
Sorry, like stalk.
Stalking. Oh, stalking. Okay. Is it normal for,
stalking.
I see. So that's your question, Abby. That's what you want to ask JL.
Mm-hmm.
Parang actually you don't need the cards to answer that question naman, no? Pero for me ha, kasi hindi na. But we'll draw a card kung bakit niya yung ginagawa. Ha? Well, the card is saying that it draws concern dun sa partner mo towards his ex. All right? I think itong si partner is still attached or haven't yet moved on dun sa past relationship niya. But you don't have to worry na pwede ba sila magbalikan o meron ba silang hidden something. Wala namang ganon so far na sinasabi yung cards.
Uh,
Are you,
I think, I don't know. I'm just worried. Like, is it a red flag if that keeps on happening?
is it a red
Well,
flag daw, JL?
logically, syempre, red flag yon, no?
Red
But again,
flag. Yes.
sabi ng cards naman na you don't have to worry about anything.
Oh, so sabi ng card, I don't have to worry about anything.
Oo,
Is that,
kumbaga is meron
hmm,
pa rin energy na naka-attach doon. But sinasabi ng cards na in time, he will be able to move on din. Kasi sinasabi kasi ng cards na merong nagdodraw ng concern towards dun sa ex. Probably merong malaking problema yung ex na concern pa rin siya.
I think that's human nature na sometimes because this person na naging big part of our life, sometimes we get curious and
Yes,
how are they doing?
correct.
All right, Abby, are you okay with that answer? Did you hear what you wanted to hear?
Yeah, sorry, medyo hindi clear yung line ko.
Yes.
Pero I'm happy na nakakonect ako.
I'm glad.
And thanks for answering my question.
Thank you very much for calling, Abby, and I hope your situation works out the way that you want it to.
Yeah, from Sydney, by the way.
Say
Thank
again.
you.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Wow, we have international callers at JL.
Oo,
Speaking
from
of,
Sydney.
8631933 if you want to call us. But JL, do you have clients from abroad, like consistent clients that you work with from other countries?
Yeah, meron din. Pero
What is
mostly Filipino talaga din, even abroad.
ano yung pinakamalayo if we're talking about a Pinoy, an OFW abroad? What is the farthest country that you've consulted with via online?
US.
The US. Okay, that's far. Huh? All right, we have another caller, Monster. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Your name, if you if
Okay.
you if you want to give it to us.
Yeah, my name is May.
Hi, May.
Yeah. So my question is, I'm actually focused on my career for probably the longest time, and I left out the love life segment of my personal life. So if I quit my job this year, would that open up potentially having that love life segment
So May,
for the year 2021?
May, you're asking. You said that your personal life and your work life are kind of conflicting. So you're asking, if you quit your job, will your personal life kind of improve? Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
something in that line. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. What do the cards say, JL?
Uy, tama yun ah. You have an imbalance in terms of handling things. Alright? Yung emotional and mental aspect of your life is conflicted with each other. So you have to give way. Oo, kasi you have to find something that you love. It's not because you just have to work. Find something that you are passionate to do. Alright? Kasi you have a lot of things na in mind because of your doubt sa sarili mo. Fear, you have a lot of fears na iniisip for the future. Alright?
Okay.
And sinasabi ng cards na hindi ka hinahabol ng panahon. So, hindi mo kailangan i-fear ang time.
Ah, okay. Very much.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, and don't fear time, as JL said. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling.
Bye.
Bye bye. Oh wow! So JL, as people were asking these questions, you're taking your reading from them. But in the meantime, I also want to ask you about the concept of karma. Do you believe in karma when it comes to love matters? Besides the you mentioned earlier about messing with free will, but what about just maybe a relationship didn't work out? Meron bang karma associated with that? Do you lose karma points for maybe cheating on someone or not working out a relationship, seeing it through all the way?
Of course, pag you do something bad to other people, lalo na cheating, di ba? Lahat naman niya may karma. But ang perception ng karma could also fall into if you're not hindi naging maganda yung relationship nyo, pwedeng result ng karma yan from another life or
Yeah,
from another relationship.
I
Pwedeng
see.
ganon. So how
Okay.
will you be able to cleanse your karma? Pwedeng ganon. You do charity works, you help other people,
Yeah,
and of course, be loyal.
be loyal. Well, that makes the most sense, right? We have another caller, JL Monster. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Your name, if you want to give it to us.
I'm Cass.
Kath.
Yes.
Hi, Kath. How are you? Kath, JL is here and he's listening for your question.
I just want to know if my special someone now is my soulmate.
Oh,
All right, so let's take a look at
okay.
what JL has.
If you're asking me if your partner right now is your soulmate, no. Okay, my answer is no. But the card is saying that you have to reflect with the relationship or current relationship that you have right now.
Sorry.
That you have to reflect about the relationship that you have right now.
I see. Okay. That's all. Hello.
Hello, hi. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Uh,
if you want to stand on, actually, I have a question for JL. Maybe you want to hear the answer. JL, when someone gets an answer that maybe they don't, or maybe they're not expecting, or maybe they don't want to hear, is there a possibility that they could change that answer in the future? Let's say you said no to our caller's question. In the future, could that answer become a yes?
In terms of yung question niya about soulmate, hindi na changeable yun eh. Kasi it's
Hindi
already
na-
fate.
Oh, okay, okay, got it.
Well, actually depende sa question. For example, we're not you're not gonna be okay na sinasabi ng cards. Pwede mo siyang baguhin yung fate mo or yung destiny mo can be changed by your actions.
Mm. But
Okay.
just to be clear, JL, when you also said earlier that people have gone on to marry their significant others who weren't actually their soulmates, but they were happy with the relationship. So it doesn't mean if your partner is not your soulmate, you can't have a happy relationship, tama?
Oo naman, oo naman.
I just wanted to make it clear, just because nakakakaba yun eh. It's like, is the person I'm with my soulmate? Tapos bigla, no. You're like, oh my god, and I can't change it. It'd be kind of scary, right?
Divorce or mag-aanal na, no?
Diba? I imagine our caller might have been a little bit freaked out, but I'm not sure if that was the answer that you were looking for, but I hope you're okay with the answer.
Oh, yeah. I understand.
Right. Thank you very much for calling. It's a
Okay,
very
thanks.
brave question to ask. So thank you so much.
Oo, thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Since people have been so vigilant about staying with us on Facebook Live as well, and I'll give you incentive to all the listeners online to follow us on our Facebook page for future live videos for Heard on Thursdays. We have a question from Powie who's asking on Facebook. It says, "Hi, Sir JL. He's curious. I've been with my partner for the past 10 years and 4 months. Is he the person I am destined to be with for this lifetime?"
Uy, maganda. Yes. It's a
Oh,
strong yes from the cards. Um, Sinasabi ng cards na itong relationship nyo or the person that you are in a relationship right now is setting your course. Ibig sabihin, this person is helping you move forward in your life generally. So, uy, maganda. Maganda yung cards for you, Bowie.
great. So, Pawi, I'm sure you're still watching. You were waiting for your answer. So, if you want to react to that, if you want to reply to JL, I'd be happy to read your reply. But in the meantime, JL, we are running out of time, and I'm sure a lot of people want to call. Our phone line is still ringing, but we would like to give you the opportunity to let our monsters who are listening, who maybe might not be able to ask their question tonight, if they want to get a consultation with you, if they want to hire your services. How can they reach you? And of course, where can they find you online para mabilis yung yung communication?
All right. Just add me or message me on Facebook. It's JL Manalili Psychic Investigator, or you can also catch me on Kumu. We are live from 10 p.m. onwards. It's psychic healing and music. We're also launching the Mystic Tavern. We'll be talking about a lot of things about free tarot reading, paranormal stuff, witchcraft, defense against the dark magic, para siyang Harry Potter, no? So, yung mga ganong bagay. Oo.
All right. So, Apawi, by the way, says super duper thank you, JL, for the
Oy,
answer.
thank you.
And to end to end the show tonight, JL. Of course, it's almost Chinese New Year, so let's talk about that just for a few moments. What can you recommend that a person do to attract good fortune? Maybe not necessarily a Chinese tradition, but in your in your years of work, have you seen people do something during this time of year, Chinese New Year, that has attracted good fortune? Maybe some advice for our listeners out there.
All right. For you to have a good fortune, maybe for love, career, health, etc., or special occasion man yan, like tomorrow na Chinese New Year, you always have to cleanse your energy. Ano ba yung basic rituals or things that you have to do to cleanse, help you cleanse your energy is rock salt. Pwede
Mhm.
ka maglagay ng rock salt sa bath mo. Pwede kang incense, right?
In-
Sage or yung mga sage incense. Bay leaf can also help. Oh, yung bay leaf,
Bailey.
Diyos ko, makikita mo lang yan sa kitchen mo, 'di ba?
Ah,
Sindihan mo lang siya and palibot mo lang yung smoke sa katawan mo so that your energy will be cleansed. And also bay leaf also attracts prosperity as well and protection. So yun yung mga basic things na pwede mong gawin. And if you have marami pa kaming tinuturo, marami pa ako tinuturo. So catch me on Kumu. Oo, marami kaming bonggang-bonggang explanations doon. For example, uh, may mga dreams ka, nightmares ka, what to do with love, what to do with career. Marami akong pera pero mabilis mawala, yung mga ganong bagay. We can explain it dun sa aming live stream.
I love it. Great advice, JL. And of course, anything you want to say to our listeners out there, they already know where to find you online, but maybe some personal messages. Anyone you want to shout out? Any messages of hope for this 2021?
Message of positivity and hope, of course, kapit lang tayo. Nalagpasan na natin yung lumagpas na yung 2020. I believe and I feel that yung energies for 2021 will be better in compared dun sa nakaraang taon natin. And shout out of course sa Wising family ko, sa Team Boss, sa mentor-mentee program na Team Boss, Kantawanan Club family, Kumu, Studio Mix family from California and Canada, sa Mystic Tavern, Philippines, hello. Thank you for watching. Kim, Noel, Ate Charlotte, hello. Jenny Havate, hello. Harvey Bonson, hello sa inyo. And sa mga friends ko na hindi ko nabanggit, hello, telepon.
Thank you once again for joining us on the show, JL. We can't wait to have you back here once everything is safe and we can all be here in person.
Yes.
And of course, to all the monsters, I'm sorry that we couldn't get to all your questions. But of course, reach out to JL online, his live stream, as he said. And also, if you want a consultation, it'd be great if you want to reach out to him. JL, we'll see you hopefully maybe end of the year, maybe next year, but hoping for the best. And thank you for joining us this evening, Monsters. For more hot conversation heard on Thursdays, we'll be back next week. And always keep it locked here on Manila's hottest, Monster RX93.1. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Heard on Thursdays.